All right, so to resume our work, we're going to have a presentation on leveraging internal regulatory compliance to replicate it in service offerings. We're going to be talking about NIS2. We're going to hear from two specialists, Samuel Broer, who's Regional Cyber Security Manager at Schneider Electric, and Vincent Riondet, who's Delivery Manager, Network Engineering and Cyber Security, also from Schneider. So, gentlemen, over to you. Okay, I'll leave you the floor. Who'd like to start? Samuel? Yes? Just a quick reminder, I think everyone knows what NIS2 is, but maybe a quick reminder. Hello, everybody. So we have this post-prandial session on a compliance topic just after lunch. Just to introduce myself, I'm in the CISO teams at Schneider for the EMEA zone, and specifically covering France and Benelux. Hello, everybody. Vincent Riondet. I'm tasked with digital transformation and cybersecurity at Schneider Electric. Just a quick overview to tell you about Schneider Electric. Schneider Electric has 150,000 employees in most parts of the world, and we balanced representation, in fact, mainly working in automation and energy management. And group solutions today contribute to decarbonation through digitization and efficiency, energy and efficiency of buildings and of industrial processes. So today we're going to be talking about the NIS2 directive. Samuel, can you tell us something about that? Before talking about NIS2, well, there was NIS1 a few years ago in 2016. NIS1 concerned a mass of operators, approximately 150 or 160, if I remember right. And among these operators, well, only some information systems were concerned, which were who were the ones providing essential services, operating essential services. And they were covered in terms of requirements. And so Schneider Electric was not concerned internally directly, but some of our clients were, of course. So the pragmatic vision of Schneider Electric, just to tell you a little bit about our organization. On the cyber front, it's approximately 400 people who are working on cybersecurity issues for digital and products. Our entity is entirely independent from the information technology department, so we directly connected to the executive committee, which is important for us in terms of the decision-making process regarding cybersecurity. And as we are doing on topics that are not entirely linked to cyber, but more related to methodology, we apply internally and we replicate for our clients. We're busy working on decarbonation topics. We've done that as well for cybersecurity topics. And Vincent will have an opportunity to tell you a little bit more about that, to learn from the experience that we have from our own in-house activities, to be able to have a trusted sharing relationship and share those solutions with our clients. So this is really paying off now, because NIS2, NIS1 was some systems in certain operators. So now with NIS2, and soon we'll have NIS3, I think a few years from now, it's all the important systems that you have within your entity. So Schneider is going to be regulated. We still have a few months. We're still in the transposition phase for each of the member countries. Member states, and for this transversal approach, which will then concern all lines of business and all activities, it's really interesting for us for the second version where all systems are concerned. So Vincent, I don't know if you want to say a few words about what the team is doing and what is forming the basis for our support to comply with this directive. So even before the second version, we had the first version of the directive, NIS1. So going back to 2015, 2016, where we structured a service offering to support our clients, in particular end consumers. And so we knew the industrial systems, the products, the architectures, the constraints. So that is why we structured activities to be able to support our clients. The audit bricks, risk analysis, compliance audits, inventory and mapping, which are the fundamentals of an industrial cybersecurity approach. So the fundamentals as well of a security plan. Those were the initial bricks. And then we created the integration capacity for our client architectures with the project dimension, where we connected it to what we as Schneider had done for our own plants, because Samuel talked to you about the decarbonation program. But we have 200 plants, so we provided security for our own plants, and so we supported our clients in doing the same for their industrial facilities. And then it's also monitoring of facilities, security solutions that can be maintained over time and actually used and implemented. Otherwise, it's pointless. So very quickly, we established a parallel between what we needed for our own plants, for our own operations, and what our clients need. And we opened the department that we created internally, and we opened up those solutions for our external clients. And also, we're working with our clients on raising awareness, training in industrial cybersecurity. The NIS2 directive focuses on third parties, which is a real weak point that we can observe when we audit a client. So, Samuel, just to tell you a little bit more about that. So, before that, through the organization that we had, dealing with IT and OT. So the CISO at Schneider covers all the activities in the entity, whether it's IT or OT, with a general plan. It's a general, a transversal organization that touches both sides of the activities of the company. If we go beyond that to extend that securing of the entire value chain, we also need to focus on third parties. A few weeks ago, I was with the members of InterCert, who you probably know, to share an incident management solution where third party was involved. It's a very important topic. The watchwords here are proactivity, confidence throughout the value chain. Now, to give, to implement the provisions of the NIS2 directive. If you have an incident where a third party is involved, do you have the information on the third party? What is the object, the purpose of their mission? Are they exchanging information with us? Will they be connecting to our industrial system or to our IT system to undertake maintenance or handling? When you're in incident mode, all of these questions, well, you already need the answers to them. You have to proactively answer those questions before the incident occurs. So in 2019, 2020, so before the NIS2 directive was implemented, we organized a program to manage the risk. And the first thing to do is to have a mapping of third parties so that we can have an assessment, a cyber assessment, looking at the risk they represent, depending on the missions that they will have to fulfill. So this is really a point that you need to work on, in addition to the measures that Vincent was talking about regarding auditing and securing. On this left-hand side of the slide, you have the 5 pillars: identification, protection, detection, response, and recovery. You have to give yourself the capacity to provide the right answer when there's a third party involved. Under the NIS2 directive, some of the providers are in the ecosystem and are not directly involved, but we would still like to make progress even if some of the providers will not have to comply with, well, it won't be an absolute requirement for them to provide with NIS2. Well, we integrate and provide solutions, so we are delivering products to you. Of course, it means our plants and our supply chain have to be fully secure. That is something we started doing many years ago. Of course, our operations, because we work on your client facilities, irrespective of what we do at Schneider. We work on technical management of buildings, on energy management, on data centers, on microgrids. And so we are a trusted third party, and we have developed a cyber badge program to secure our operations with specific training, with specific monitoring of the people who are involved in these training sessions, how we work with our commissioning, all the protocols, how we work with our clients, so that we can ensure that we are a trusted partner. In cyber, beyond our in-house policy and the measures that we take, a key component, well, of course, it's certification. So what about certification? Well, it's true that we are positioned as a multinational firm, and that gives us a global overview, in fact, of the legislative environment throughout Europe, of course, through the connections that we have with the European Commission. And these are discussions, exchanges on topics where we can influence, or at the very least give our opinion. For the NIS2 directive, an incident, for example, in the Philippines, but with a rebound effect goes through Germany and then through France. How do you notify an incident under the directive, as you are required to do? So these are very concrete and operational questions that we have to share with these entities. Then we are also looking at each of the transpositions for each of the EU member states. There was some discussion about that this morning. So it's important that the member states converge and have have a common, consistent approach throughout the EU, and also through the certifications that we have, both regarding IT through 27001 or I think it's important, and Vincent, on the service front, we have a number of qualifications that maybe you could come back to. Regarding services, we have dedicated cybersecurity support. So since 2021, we are certified, qualified auditors, and we are currently upgrading our qualification approach on securing industrial systems, which is one of the specificities of Schneider Electric, to support clients in their regulatory compliance approach, in securing their facilities. So we really want to be a trusted partner here based on this certification, the certification qualification we have. And in the French ecosystem, because we're a French company and part of our business is done in France, we are continuing to work on CSPN certification with offers like the INCYBER software suite, which will aggregate the use and of data. So that's CSPN certified software. So it's just to give you an example of some of the certification that we can, the qualification we have.